What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've finally got some new Keyforge cards to be talking about. Seems like it took a little bit of a while to get around to getting some new Keyforge cards. It seems like it's been a little bit quiet on the Western front. I've even had some people saying, Wossy, when are we going to get some new Keyforge cards and videos? Now we're going to. And we've got a bunch of stuff to look at. We're going to start off with logos, because I love logos, and there's 7 new cards to talk about. Starting off with Bookton. And if the name sounds a little bit familiar, it probably should. Bookton. Gotta love some Bookton. So, what are we... And clearly this is something to do with Bookton, whether it's... Well, I'll be honest with you, it just seems like Bookton, but fused with a helper bot, which is really cool. So Bookton here is a 4-power, 0-armor creature, and when you reap, you play the top card of your deck. Yeah, that's really good. It's Wild Wormhole. This is Wild Wormhole as a reap skill, and Wild Wormhole is great. Of course, Bookton, when you reap, you draw a card. This has 1 less power, is arguably better, but remember that this is the kind of thing you've got to be extremely careful about. Let's say you've got a nice, big, impressive battle line all built up, and then you go and use this, and you hit Unlocked Gateway, which destroys all creatures and ends your turn because it's an Omega card. Not good, ladies and gentlemen. Not good. I absolutely adore this card. I think this is a phenomenal card, but please be incredibly careful. This could backfire. If you hit the wrong card, I mean, Keyhammer's another great example of this. Keyhammer, you unforge a key, and then you give your opponent 6 amber. But if they didn't forge a key on their previous turn, you just give them 6 amber. That would be a very bad thing. In some decks, just like with Wild Wormhole, you've got to be extremely careful. But maybe you're in more of a clone mood. How about Cyberclone? A 1-power, 0-armor creature, and when you play, you purge another creature. And until Cyberclone leaves play, it has power equal to the purge creature's power, and gains that creature's armor, keywords, and traits. It does not seem to copy abilities. It copies power, armor, keywords, and traits. Keywords would be things like alpha or omega or things of that nature. Deploy. They would be keywords. You're not copying skills here, which is a little bit sad. A lot of the time, skills is probably what you're going to want to copy. But then again, if your opponent has gone into a huge amount of effort to get a Khalifi Dragon into play, and then you just copy it and all of a sudden you've got yourself a 12-power creature, yeah, that doesn't sound too bad at all. Of course, this should remind a bunch of you of Mimic Gel, which is another logos card that we got back in Worlds Collide, and there's a lot of similarities going on there, and we've got someone in a tube and a mad scientist looking in and all of that good stuff. It's not exactly the same, but we've got very similar vibes here. Now, it does say purge another creature, not another enemy creature. So that means that you could purge one of your own creatures if they were about to be KO'd or whatever it might be. I like it. It's kind of cool. Purging one of your opponent's creatures and getting one that's as powerful, that could work. Now, Daemo-Bot is extremely similar to 3 other cards we've already actually seen. We've already seen Dino-Bot, we've already seen Lyco-Bot, and we've already seen Umbra-Bot. Essentially, we're getting one of these bots in logos to match all of the other houses. Dino-Bot clearly being your Saurian, Lyco-Bot seeming to be Untamed, Umbra-Bot looking like Shadows, and Daemo-Bot seems to be Dis, I believe. We got a 3-power, 0-armor creature. When you reap, you discard a card from your hand. If you do draw a card, that is a skill that is on all of them. And when it's destroyed, you steal an amber. Cool. That sounds good. I'll be honest with you. That sounds pretty gosh darn good. Because when you're reaping, this is great. When you reap, you discard a card and then you draw a card. You are not gaining any cards, but what you are doing is cycling through the cards in your hand a little bit better. This is a very, very good thing. So this is a creature you want to keep on the field. Your opponent can get this creature off of the field, but if they get this creature off of the field, they have to let you steal an amber, which is generally not going to be a particularly good thing. Oh, yes. And that's what I really love about this, because you've got either a creature which is a really good one to have in play, or a creature that your opponent takes out, and that gives you an advantage as well. Either way, it looks an awful lot like you're winning. Diametric Charge. Now, at this stage, we need to remember enhancements. Certain cards in this new set Mass Mutation could potentially have enhancements. Gain an amber, capture an amber, deal a damage, draw a card. So as we look at this spoiler here, it does have 2 amber bonus, but one of them is an enhancement, the bottom one. The top one is a regular amber bonus. So yes, it's got 2 amber drawn on the card, but it will usually only have 1. There we go. It's an action card that gives you an amber bonus, and when you play it, you deal 1 damage to a creature with 2 damage splash. That is to say, 1 to 1 creature and 2 to each creature on the side, on either side. And this is a kind of thing we've seen with logos before. This reminds me very much of Positron Bolt. Now, Positron Bolt did 3 damage to a flank creature, 2 to a neighbour and 1 to the second creature's other neighbour, while giving you an amber bonus. And it also reminds me quite a bit of Twin Bolt Emission, which gave you an amber bonus and dealt 2 damage to a creature and 2 damage to a different creature. And it's pretty much as good as all of them, if I'm honest with you. It's fine. It's pretty much exactly as good as the others. It's very situational. If there are 3 creatures all in a row that you want to damage, this is wonderful. If there are 2 2-power creatures with a creature in between them, this is phenomenal. Generally speaking, I'd still rather have Twin Bolt Emission, because most of the time I'd rather just do 2 damage to 2 creatures, rather than doing 1 to 1 creature and 2 to each of its neighbours. Also, I have got to point out the flavour text here. Cool bots don't look at explosions. Good work, designers. Good work. How about Lethologica? Now, this seems like a weird kind of lizard thing, so I'm instantly in. It gives you an amber bonus. There is a draw enhancement on the card. That is just for this card. It probably won't have one when it could, but it probably won't when you draw it. But it's an action card that gives you an amber bonus, and when you play it, you discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a logos card or run out of cards. If you discard a logos card this way, put it into your hand. And this is a buffed up version of Invasion Portal, but as an action, not as an artifact. Invasion Portal let you discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Mars creature or run out of cards. If you discard a Mars creature in this way, put it into your hand. Well, this is better because it's any logos card, doesn't have to be a creature, could be an upgrade, action, artifact, etc. And it gives you an amber bonus when you play it, with the not insignificant downside that it is a one-shot action, whereas a permanent use it every turn artifact. Having said that, artifact you play down and then it's exhausted and then you can use it every Mars turn from then on. It's not perfect. It's a better card, but it is an occasional action. You have been warned. Still absolutely adore it though. Let's be perfectly clear about that. How about Munchling? Munchling is a card, the design of which I am 100% in favour of. It is wonderful. It is a 3-power, 0 armor creature with skirmish. If you start a fight, you will take no damage in return. So let's go starting fights. And when you fight, you may discard a logos card from your hand or archives. If you do, gain an amber. I absolutely adore this. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. You see, it's got skirmish, which means it's going to probably be on the field for a little while. And it gives you and of course, because it's a fight skill, must survive the fight to use, and it's got skirmish, you will survive the fight. You get to destroy a creature with 3 power or lower, or deal 3 damage to a creature with more than 3 power, and then you get to gain an amber, if you like. And that's phenomenal. Now, it basically means any card in your hand gives you an amber bonus, but it basically means that there are plenty of cards that you might not want to play. We've all been there, right? In Keyforge, during your turn, you pick an active house, and you can play, discard, or use any cards of the active house. And we all regularly discard cards of the active house that we don't want to use. Well, here, you get to discard a card, and you get an amber bonus, whether it actually was supposed to have an amber bonus or not. Wild Wormhole too risky to play? Discard it with this, you get to gain an amber. Don't want to play Redacted because Redacted basically never actually ends up working? Discard it with this, gain yourself an amber. This is awesome. And sure, there will be times you don't want to use this. There will be times where you don't have a Logos card in your hand, or you don't have one you're willing to discard, and in those situations that is sad, boo, hiss, etc. But other than those times, I adore Munchling, and it's a common, so you're probably going to see it quite a bit. And I believe the last one that has been revealed, hopefully we're not going to add one in a minute and make myself look stupid, Opposition Research. Now, this has enhance with a damage. What that means is it will give another card in your deck 1 damage. It's got 1 damage token to spread amongst the rest of your cards, randomly. And when you play it, enemy creatures cannot reap during your opponent's next turn. And this is awesome. We've seen no reaping before. We've seen stuff like Barrister Joya, which literally just turned off reaping for your opponent. Age of Ascension, the first expansion, second set, had this weird thing where there were lots of either you cannot reap or we're making it hard for you to reap cards. It was a weird thing. But Barrister Joya was the most, well, I suppose the meanest, the most direct of all of them. It just turned it off. Well, Opposition Research does the same thing. Now, again, it's an action card, and it's a fairly standard thing. But when you can use it, it's awesome. And here's the great thing, right? Even if you don't want to use it, this is exactly the kind of card that you discard with Munchling. I have forgotten a card. There is one more we need to look at in a minute. Sorry. So that's kind of awesome. It stops your opponent reaping. If your opponent's done that thing where they've built up a big list of cards, and now they're just, or big battle line of creatures, and they're just sitting there getting ready to essentially reap until the end of the game, great news. You can stop them reaping. And stopping them reaping for 1 turn might be enough. This might mean that they actually forge a key 1 turn later now, and that's it. It's over. Gutted. Now, I did say there was one more card. Sorry, I thought I was going through them in order, and I missed out Novu Dynamo. Sorry about that. Novu Dynamo is a beast. 8 power, 2 armor. Maybe over in the Saurian Republic or Brobnar, that wouldn't be too gigantic. For Logos, that's gigantic. At the start of your turn, you may discard a Logos card from your hand or archives. If you do, gain an amber. Hey, it's kind of like Munchling, but at the start of your turn, not when you fight. Otherwise, destroy Novu Dynamo. Ooh. Okay. That's awkward. You see, 8 power is the cutoff in Keyforge. 8 power is the highest you can get without some kind of downside. So, something like Troll, for instance, 8 power, 0 armor. When you reap, you heal 3 damage. But as soon as you go past 8... there needs to be some kind of downside. And I know 8 is 8, clearly. I teach maths, would you know? But 8 power, 2 armor is better than just 8 power. And you get to gain an amber at the start of your turn. Otherwise, you've got to destroy it. This is going to lead to some awkward scenarios. This is going to lead to some turns where you end up discarding a card you don't want to, or end up destroying this creature when you'd rather not. It is not always going to be, I'm willing to get rid of this card. There are going to be turns where this skill sucks, and it isn't a choice, you've got to do it. Either you discard a card and gain an amber, or you destroy this creature. But given that it's an 8 power, 2 armor creature, which can gain you an amber at the start of every turn, that's ridiculous. One of the biggest issues here is you're not always going to have a logos card. We've all been there. We've all played a bunch of Keyforge, I'm assuming, at this point. We've all had those turns where you've only got 2 houses in your hand. There will be turns you literally don't have a logos card. You draw until you got 6 cards in your hand, and then you don't have a logos card. So it goes away. That's going to be what really sucks. But it's an 8 power, 2 armor creature that lets you gain an amber at the start of essentially every turn. And let's be clear, it does not say at the start of your logos turn, it's the start of every turn. This can get you an amber at the start of every single turn. I love this, and I love logos. Some of these cards look really, really fun. This and Munchling probably being my favourite of them, but let's not beat around the bush here. Logos is getting some nice new cards. Now, the good news is these were not the only cards spoiled, so over the next couple of days there will be loads of new Keyforge stuff, and life will be very nice indeed. For now, I'd like to know your opinion on all of these new cards, so go nuts in the comment section, but do please remember the rules. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Keyforge and a whole bunch of other games, and do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.